Today, we're going to do a review of the all-new Tomtoc Navigator-T67. Not to be confused with the Tomtoc Navigator-T66. In this review, we're gonna fully pack out the T67, talk about its pros and the cons, compare and contrast it to the T66, and you're gonna wanna stick around to the end of the video, because if you're not sure that either of these bags are your bag soulmate, then I'll make some alternative recommendations for other bags that might be your bag soulmate. They'll be close to these bags, but offer some important differences, because my goal here on Nomads Nation is to help you find the bag that best suits your needs. Let's talk about the gist of the Tomtoc Navigator-T67. Tomtoc is a Chinese brand, and they're really coming onto the scene hot and heavy, because they're making super nice gear that's really durable and well constructed, but most importantly, it's coming in at a really accessible price point, which we'll talk about in just a second. And this T67 is sort of the younger twin of the T66. They're really similar with some key differences, but ultimately this is a travel laptop backpack. So let's talk about some of its top features. We've got super durable materials and construction, dual compression straps on this side of the bag, a side quick access zipper pocket, one water bottle holder, suitcase, clamshell style opening, and a super comfortable harness system that includes beefy shoulder straps and a well padded back panel. It currently comes in one color option. It has a stated volume of 38 liters, which in our experience and opinions is not the case. It's a little bit smaller. It feels like 33 liters, but regardless, it's a great size for travel, especially for shorter trips. We've got dimensions of 21 inches height, 14 inches width, and a base depth of around 8 inches. Weight is becoming increasingly important on travel backpacks these days. Lighter is always better. This is coming in at 3 pounds on scale number 1, and again, 3 pounds on scale number 2. This is the T67 when it's empty, and this is the T67 when it's fully packed out and worn on the Nomads Nation team. I'm 5'8". Margaret's 5'2", and we're gonna pack out this bag throughout the entire review so you can see exactly what it fits. Tomtoc products are protected by their 2-year warranty, but you do need to register the product. Very important, keep that in mind. And for all that, the T67 comes in at a pretty mind-boggling $99 US. And if at any point in this review, you find yourself agreeing with me that, wow, this is a very high value backpack, incredible value proposition, and you're gonna make a purchase or you wanna find out more information, we highly recommend that you do so using the first link in the description below. Reason being, that link makes sure that you get the best price, and we oftentimes have discount codes. But that link also helps support the Nomads Nation YouTube channel and team so we can keep making the best bag reviews on the web. Thank you very much. Now, real fast, we're gonna compare and contrast the twins, the 67 to the 66, just so you can understand their differences, because they're subtle, but also important depending on how you like to travel. Difference number 1, the T66 has a bit of a different aesthetic. Although the silhouettes are very similar, the T66 has this different fabric on the side here versus the T67 is all the nylon. Next up, as of now, they have different logos. As the T67 has the new Tomtoc logo, the 66 has the old one, and the T67 has some lash points on the bottom that the 66 does not have. The T67 has a zippered front pocket that the 66 does not have. The T67 has one water bottle holder versus the 66, which has 2. And on the 67, that's replaced with a quick access zip pocket. The 67 utilizes a light gray lining versus the 66, which is a black lining. The 67 has no side handles versus the 66, which has this one right here. For the laptop compartment, the 67 uses an average microfiber lining versus the 66, which just uses regular lining, not microfiber. And finally, we have some differences on the back panel. The 66 has the 1, 2, 3, 4 block design versus the 67 has the 2 block design, which allows it to have a luggage pass-through holder where the bag can sit this way on the suitcase versus the 66, which runs this way, which means it'll be sitting this way on the suitcase. I'm not gonna lie, the bags are pretty similar. They're siblings and closely named for a reason. But yeah, I'm curious, like based on that breakdown, do you think one is better than the other? Is there one particular feature that just like helps it become victorious? I'd love to know which Navigator you prefer and why in the comments below. All right, let's talk about the front of the Tomtoc Navigator-T67. We always start this section by talking about the aesthetic of a bag, and I think Tomtoc's aesthetic is kind of mean. I think it's got like a travel, tactical sort of a look to it. It's got a little bit of masculinity. Kind of if you ask me. Now, one thing that's heavily contributing to that aesthetic is the primary fabric that's being used, which is a 1680D PET fabric. This means it's a nylon, and the 1680D is the weave. And it's a ballistic nylon, which was invented by the military because it's just so tough and so abrasion resistant. And it's gonna give the bag a bit of water resistance as well, but not as much as like an X-Pack bag or something that actually has like a lamination on it. Love Tomtoc's new branding. This is very subtle, just that little The external lash points on the bottom also contribute to having a slightly more tactical look. And these are just utilized if you want to clip things onto the bag. And then we got a front zippered pocket right here. Pocket's very basic, no additional organization. It's a tiny guy, and it runs down to this point of the bag. And you can put a lot of different things in there, but to showcase its size and depth, it's definitely a good spot for regular size-ish book. Front section, done pretty fast. But we're gonna really get into the meat and potatoes of this bag. Let's talk about the middle, the Tomtoc Navigator-T67. Starting on the bottom, which is flat, which means it should self-stand. And there's an interesting sort of feature that Tomtoc has included in this bag, which I've never seen in any other bags, which we'll talk about in just a second. Now let's talk about the sides, where you have these buckles that can unclip and reclip here and here. And these other buckles, or I guess hardware, where you don't have the option to undo it, they're there. And these are what we refer to in the industry as compression straps. And they serve a few purposes. First of all, they act as lash points, so you can clip things externally onto your bag. Two, they can help secure other things in place, like your water bottle. You can slide it in there and clip it on there as well. But really the primary use is to compress the bag, which is especially effective these days, especially on like budget airlines. They have very strict carry-on and personal item policies. You gotta actually put it in the box, right? What's in the box? So this allows you to hopefully cinch the sides to ensure that your bag can fit in the box. And it also allows you to cinch the bag down, giving you a potential day bag when you actually get to your destination, kind of making it smaller, but I don't know, it's still a pretty bulky day bag, but it does help. On this side, we have a zippered pocket, and this pocket's interesting. It's the whole depth and width and height of this side panel right here. No additional organization. For me, a good spot for your phone. I got an iPhone 13. Keep it there, swing the bag around, super easy to grab. Now on the other side, we have a water bottle pocket, which can be used for other things as well, but we'll test the water bottles in just a second when the bag is fully packed out. Speaking of which, let's get into the main compartment, but one thing to note about compression straps like these is they are typically kind of annoying when they're buckled in, and the reason is, as you can see right here, trying to open the main compartment, they're getting totally in the way. And like, I don't know, just one of those things that can be agitating over time. You can't even open this compartment either with these buckles, which could be a good security feature if that's your bag. Not really my cup of tea. So for me, a bit of a pro and a con with compression straps like this. But no cons for me with this lining choice of color. Because unlike the T66, which utilizes a black lining, it gets very dark in the T66 versus the T67. This color choice helps to create a bit of a highlight effect in the bag. On the flip side, it can get dirty, maybe slightly easier, but for me, it's a no-brainer trade-off. Another thing that I love about these bags in their main compartment is there's no additional organization, which is great because I usually travel with tech pouches and packing cubes. I don't need pockets and zippers causing more complications and more weight. And then that interesting thing that I mentioned earlier on the bottom of the bag that I've never really seen before is you've got this plastic panel, which can sort of stow away right here, or you can use it to sort of create some structure on the bottom of the bag, which I don't completely understand. I think it helps with self-standing a bit, just gives the bag a bit more structure. We're gonna pack it out with a whole bunch of travel stuff. Now, like I said, this is advertised as 38 liters. I cannot scientifically disprove that, but it feels smaller. Margaret, based on your expertise, what do you think the size of this bag is? 26, wow, I'm not gonna go that low, but it definitely doesn't feel like 38 liters. So very important to keep that in mind. Margaret's the expert here, okay? I got a large packing cube from Aer. I'm gonna put that into the main compartment. Small packing cube from Aer at the top. JSD Bombas pack right here. Nice little tech pack. And we'll throw a day pack on top, and that's all we're gonna fit, which is why I stick to what I said. For a 40-liter bag, you can definitely usually fit more in there. I don't know if I'm gonna go as low as Margaret with 26, but like it definitely don't feel like 38. With a 40-liter, I can get probably another packing cube and the shoes in there. And then we shall zip that up, close the compression straps. And you can see that even though we have a solidified base at the bottom with that packing cube, right? We're not really getting much self-standing, even with that plastic base engaged. It's the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Anyone know what movie that's from? I will be astonished if you do. Let me know in the comments below. Wow, it just took me back to my childhood. But this is where the compression straps can come in handy, right? Because you can see we got some bulk with the sides. And if you just want to cinch that, you can really, you can bring that down a lot. Mucho on both sides of the bag, which can be a very functional feature to have. But I'm gonna let you breathe, baby. Final note for the middle, this top handle right here, which is really loose. I always complain about top handles being too tight. Like they're just like too tight, you know, it's not, but this is like the loosest top handle I've ever seen, which I don't think there's any negatives for that. Minus maybe aesthetically, it like just kind of looks like really floppy, but easy to grab, very nice nylon webbing material, well padded. Tomtoc could have cut a corner there, like, hey, we're a $100 bag, we don't have to make a nice top handle, but they did it anyways. That's why we freaking love you, Tomtoc. Oh, one last note, we got this zipper pocket right here, which is a secure and accessible location for your sunglasses. Let's talk about the back of the Tomtoc Navigator-T67. No, wait, no. I got ahead of myself. Water bottle check. One water bottle holder on this side. We're gonna test out a 24-ounce Columbia. Very nice. 1 liter Yeti, absolutely fits. And again, with this compression strap, while it does irk me in some ways, I cannot deny how nice this is when you're traveling with a water bottle to help secure it. All right, did I cover it all? Can we go into the next section now? I think we can. Okay, now let's talk about the back of the Tomtoc Navigator-T67. Starting with the laptop compartment, which is accessible. I didn't mention the zippers. What do we got going on here? I'm gonna guess YKK, because Tomtoc don't mess around. Ooh, I don't know if these are YKK zippers. Yes, they are. YKK. YKK make the best zippers in the game. And it should be noted that although they are not lockable YKK zippers on the main compartment, they are indeed lockable in the laptop compartment. You can see right there, you got a little hole you can pop the lock through. And also the laptop compartment is clamshell opening, which is kind of cool. Used to be cooler back in the day, because like TSA used to be like the security airport people. They used to be like, yeah, you can just do that, leave your laptop in there, we'll just slide it on through, good to go. That was the unique selling point of this. Now these days, I feel like they don't care. They're like, I did that, like, cool, yeah, take it out. Like, no, but I opened it. And it's just like, yeah, that's cool, take it out. That's been my experience recently though. I don't know, what about you? Do you think this is actually good for TSA? Bit of a thing of the past? Let me know in the comments below. But clamshell opening does increase accessibility. We got a stretchy mesh pocket on the bottom. Then we've got this quick access pull tab that gives you access into the main compartment. So you then can access it from the back as well. We're gonna put a laptop power bank / charger and wires here. Love this Darlington mesh, very stretchy, very premium look and feel. For the laptop compartment, I know this is usually, where are you? Big enough for a 17-inch laptop. We've done some Tomtoc reviews. So you can see I got my 17-inch Asus VivoBook, and I can go ahead and slide right in. And oh my God, so much room to spare. Look at this. I mean, I think this is gonna be one of the rare bags where it's like any 17-inch laptop will definitely fit in there. But if you are looking for other bags that 17-inch laptops can fit in, we did a full roundup, which you can watch linked above. We've also got a 12-inch iPad, Velcro tab to secure everything. It's a nice tech compartment at the price point, not gonna lie, because you have a microfiber material right here, which is super soft, scratch resistant properties, keeping your laptop safe and sound. And you can see right here, the bottom of the laptop compartment is slightly elevated, which will give it a bit of a false bottom. False reminds me of Dwight Schrute. False. And you can see that, like, with that false bottom, plus this back padding, which we'll talk about in a second, it's just a very safe location for your laptop. Speaking of which, let's talk about the back padding now. And the whole back panel. Because one thing, again, that Tomtoc does so well at this price point is not compromising on comfort. Granted, you know, they've taken some inspiration, I think, from other brands like Aer. This is definitely a harness system that's always been reminiscent of the Aer design. The chunkaliciousness, the mesh, just how well padded it is. On the shoulder straps, we have a couple of external lash points to clip things on externally to your bag. An adjustable sternum strap, so you can get it to the height that you want for your torso. We've also got a luggage pass-through holder, which allows you to keep your bag staying upright. Now, it feels a little bit tight, but I think we're gonna get it on. Obviously, usually you don't have to lift your bag that high, things that we do for you guys for our bag reviews. But you can see this is beauty right there. It is a bit tight. You can see that we're pulling into the sides of the bag. So it's not the best situation going on here in terms of, like, it is scrunching the bag a little bit. And this is just a normal suitcase. This is the Aer carry-on. So you can see how it is scrunching the back panel ever so slightly. I don't fear that'll do damage necessarily. I don't know, not crazy about what's happening there. But it does feel pretty reinforced with the stitching. You have the seam right there, another one back there. Should be good, just a little iffy. Now finally, let's end with a comfort test. And you know, having reviewed a fair amount of Tomtoc bags, I can tell you they're just incredibly comfortable. As long as you like really beefy shoulder straps. Because if you like lighter shoulder straps, let's say like you try like a Peak Design travel backpack. And if you're like, dude, the Peak Design travel backpack, that's how I like my travel backpack to be, with comfort. Then I'm gonna say, keep away from this bag, because this is the complete opposite experience. Peak Design shoulder straps are thinner, very loose, very light. These are borderline oppressive depending on how you look at it, but that's the way I like it. I like my travel bag to oppress me, oppress the out of me. Sternum straps are great for redistributing the weight from your lower back to your torso. That feels nice. We've got a dangle stopper here, dangle stoppers there, keeping this little guy happy. And the back panel just feels gorgeous. It's like a mattress on your back. Again, at the price point, Tomtoc is spoiling us. Now, before we go into the pros and the cons, I wanna let you know that if travel gear and everyday carry gear is your thing, you're like, dude, bags, that's my bag. I want more bags. Then I gotta tell you that here at Nomads Nation, we don't just do epic YouTube reviews, but we also have the Nomads Nation newsletter. And that's kind of like me being your reporter in the field for what's happening in this incredible niche. I mean, if you don't know right now, what's happening in the world of bags is friggin' mind-blowing. And that's what the Nomads Nation newsletter does, is it gives you like a first look at what's happening with new releases, industry trends, limited edition drops, and everything in between. So if you wanna sink your teeth into that and also get your hands on some exclusive giveaways and discount codes that are only available for subscribers, then you're gonna wanna sign up to the NN newsletter, which you can do by finding this globe emoji in the description below. I hope to see you in your inbox. All right, pros and cons, let's do it. Pro number one, it's a very, very comfortable bag. Pro number two is the versatility that the 4 compression straps give you. And pro number three, it's always gonna be the biggest thing with Tomtoc, is the value. This bag at this price point, it's crazy. It's awesome. But it's not a perfect bag, and I'll tell you why in a couple of cons. Con number one is while the compression straps give you some versatility, they can be really cumbersome. They're always in the way. They kind of annoy me. Con number two is for a travel bag, it actually doesn't self-stand very well, even with that plastic bottom in there. And con number three is I wasn't too jazzed up about the luggage pass-through holder. But if you weigh the pros and the cons and you're thinking to yourself, that is my future travel bag, I'm gonna buy one. And you're gonna make a purchase, just a reminder, we recommend that you do so with the first link in the description. That's where you can get the best price, and if we have any discount codes, that's where you'll find them. But if you're not quite sold, let me give you some alternative recommendations for bags that might better suit your needs. Alt rec number one is going to be the Osprey Daylite 26+6. Great option for you if you're looking for a budget travel bag. It's also $100, but you want a bit more versatility, as the 26+6 is a 26-liter bag that can expand to a 32-liter bag. And honestly, it probably has more capacity than this overall. And it's got a bit more color, different vibe. It's just, for some people, they like the style a lot more. And alternative recommendation number two is gonna be the Aer Travel Pack 3. This is gonna be for you if you're kind of new to the world of bags and you're like, whoa, that thing's tight, but like, I got a bit more of a budget. What's like the best option on the market at a non-ridiculous price point? And that's what the Aer Travel Pack 3 does best. Similar comfort, similar aesthetic, but just elevated across the board in terms of materials, constructions, fabrics, you name it. Honestly, all three of these bags are bringing very different things to the table, and they're all phenomenal choices. But to learn more about the alternative recommendations, just go ahead and watch these videos right here. If you got any questions about any bags, be sure to let me know in the comments below. My name is Aaron, this is Nomads Nation, and we'll catch you next time.